Toronto Blue Jays. It's no surprise that the Blue Jays are coming off a horrible 2018 season, but they're looking to turn things around with their top prospect, Vlad Guerrero Jr., who absolutely tore things up in AA and AAA last year. He's only 20 years old on opening day, and the Blue Jays are expecting really big things out of him. My bold prediction for the Blue Jays was that he'll be either runner-up or in a really good contention spot for Rookie of the Year, and the Blue Jays will beat out the Rays and the Orioles in the AL East. Can't compete with the Red Sox and the Yankees, but they will slowly but surely climb up the rankings in the AL East and get a better bullpen and a better pitching rotation, and potentially a couple years down the road they will be able to compete with the Red Sox and the Yankees.
All right, what's up? I'm Not Sayiners. This is John. Great job, whoever went before me. Not really too sure right now, but I'm going to be talking to you about the Yankees today. I'll do some of their strengths, weaknesses, where I think they'll finish, and I'll make a bold prediction, which I actually haven't thought of yet, so I will think of that on the spot. Anyways, the Yankees finished second last year, got the first wild card, and the expectation was kind of World Series because they did everything they could during the offseason to just like shore up their lineup, but it didn't really work for them in the playoffs. However, they did that again this year, and they had a really good offseason, I would say. I guess the only major piece they lost was David Robertson, if you'd call him a major piece, which I guess you definitely can. But what they did is they went out and got DJ LeMahieu, Adam Ottavino, and they traded for James Paxton, who's probably going to step into their ace role, arguably even when Severino comes back. It's going to be a phenomenal 1-2 punch. And yeah, so the thing with LeMahieu is that they already have a lot of infield depth, which could make one wonder what they're going to do with him. For now, they have Didi Gregorius is on the DL because he needs Tommy John surgery on his elbow. But after that, the infield's going to be especially crowded. So one would wonder what they're doing with him. I'm kind of thinking, honestly, this might be like a Brendan Drury type situation where you get a good player during the offseason, but you're just not able to play him, and he rots away on your bench, and he becomes like a waste of money for them. I think he's a great player, and I think he will be, but I think they'd rather give Andujar time instead of him, which is a little bit like, at least for now, he'll get his playing time. But the thing with Andujar too brings up a good point is during the offseason, actually, it was rumored, and even at last trade deadline, it was rumored that they were shopping him. Whether those rumors were full of baloney or not, one can't really tell. But people do knock him down because of his defense isn't quite there yet. But look, he's a young player. Maybe he'll never be great on defense, but he doesn't really strike out, which is pretty rare for a young player. And he's got a lot of power to boot, which is pretty good for him. I'd say, though, once Didi gets back, the situation is going to be complicated. Maybe they trade him for... They definitely don't need bullpen or outfield help. I kind of mentioned this before. They don't need infield help. Maybe they get another good starter, because right now their rotation, at the back end of it is like a 55-year-old CC Sabathia and Domingo Germán, who kind of proved himself, but not really last year. So, I guess Severino comes back too to replace one of them, but maybe they trade at the deadline Andujar for a starting pitcher. Who knows? But anyways, with their with their bullpen, it's pretty untouchable. Can't really pick any feathers with that. Their outfield is, it Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, enough said. Aaron Hicks is out. I don't think he's going to be out for that long, but I think it will be like at least like a couple weeks. So that could hurt initially. But they've got like Brett Gardner, and he's more than a capable MLB player. I don't know how good he is at center field. Like, he's played there in the past, but he's also getting older. And then another Yankees thing that I guess fans are very excited about right now is the emergence of Luke Voit. So during the offseason, there was debate whether they should roll with him or Greg Bird at first base. And honestly, I definitely think they should roll with Voit. The thing that people don't know about him is that he's a lot older than people think. He's like 28 years old. But the thing with him is that he was kind of a no-name. In a way, he came up at age 26 with the Cardinals, actually. Got traded to the Yankees in some deal. I don't really know. Might have even got released and picked up. But I would like sort of towards the endish of last year, he just came out of nowhere and started putting good numbers in for them. So they decided that he might be one they roll with. And the reason why I'd say just might as well use him over Greg Bird. Greg Bird was like super hyped after he came up because he showed a lot of potential, but it just hasn't been there the last couple of years. He's just struggled with injury problems and inefficiency problems. I guess he was hyped up too because he had like an amazing spring training a couple of years ago, but then in the beginning of the season, like all the way up till May, he was hitting under 100. So I don't know, that could mean he like still has potential, but some people are able to tap into that potential, some people just aren't. I guess it depends on the player's mentality, but something like that's pretty tough to change. Anyways, with the Yankees, I think that they will win the division, and I think that if it's not a World Series or bust year because they don't have a bunch of guys on one-year deals, but they should definitely expect for a World Series this year. That's what their fans are hoping for. They get it a lot more often than many fans, so that's good for them. If I had to take a guess, I'm guessing around 103 wins. And then my bold prediction would be that Gary Sanchez has more home runs than either Judge or Stanton. Not sure who, but the thing with him is that he was like the first player, like he was like the he was the first player to get to 20 home runs in like a certain amount of at bats. I think the next year actually Cody Bellinger beat him to it, like had played the least amount of games or had the least amount of at bats to get to 20 home runs. But even still, the next year, Gary Sanchez just showed how just awesome of a hitter he is, both for power and even just all around. He put up a good average as well. Last year, he had a horrible year, but he also struggled through injuries. And then, I guess that's about it. Feel free to like and subscribe, but before you do that, listen to X person. Thank you.
Hey guys, Mark Jones. I'm Not Sayin Sports. Mike and Screen Productions. Twitter at BlackStang1302. Feel free to hit me up. I'm talking about the Boston Red Sox today. They're one of my favorite teams. Their offseason, not particularly the best. They let Craig Kimbrell walk. He's still out there, so technically anybody could re-sign him. It's not looking good. Personally, I would love to see Craig Kimbrell on either the Phillies to add to their back end of the bullpen, or Atlanta because he was formerly on Atlanta, and they're a go for it team, with young up and coming players. But that's for another time. They did add to the bullpen, but more the Red Sox added to the bullpen, but more mid relievers than back end guys or a closer. So it's a big hole for the reigning World Series champs. The strength of their team would be their outfield. Mookie Betts, Andrew Benintendi. Can he improve? Because he batted .290, which is phenomenal, but he only had 16 homers and I believe I forget how many RBIs off the top of my head, but 16 homers, which was 4 less than his true rookie season, which he had more at bats last year. So is that power, former number one overall prospect, that power that we all know is there? Is it the stadium being in with the green monster out there? Actually, he bats left-handed, so he's got the short porch in the what? It's like 318. That's little league out there in right field. But their worst outfielder is Jackie Bradley, but he's a Gold Glove defensive, and they got the DH to make up for it. So that's a match made in heaven. Now, other strengths would be their pitching staff, their starting pitching, but they're more top heavy, like Chris Sale, Rick Porcello, and then who's really their three? David Price, but only by name. I mean, he signed that contract and he really hasn't been good since. And then they got what's his name? Eugene. What is it? Rodriguez or I'm drawing a blank. I think it's Rodriguez. He's a lefty. I think he's going to be more of their three pitcher than David Price. I don't know. It's David Price. Is it going to be another year on the DL for him? But anyways, and then their fifth guy is the guy who he pitched like 9 innings in the World Series last year. Honestly, was the MVP for that game 7 or game 6, whatever one it was. Weaknesses, second base, I guess. Dustin Pedroia, I don't want him to hang it up, but it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle trying to get back. I mean, we keep hearing it's like day by day for him, for like 2 years now. And he's such a great baseball name, Dustin Pedroia. It's sad. That's sad. It's sad what has happened because he's one of the best players growing up that I loved watching. So what? Nunez is probably making up for playing at second base this year, meaning Rafael Devers is primarily going to be the third baseman, and it's a big year for him because he's on the team now. It's not up and down in the minors. He's got to be the guy. Otherwise, they're going to have to find someone. And I mean, maybe if Dustin Pedroia is healthy, they can move Nunez to third for your split time at third because they need Devers. Devers is, I mean, he's got it. He's up there, but he's got to show it. He's got to show. Brock Holt, another guy to look out for because Brock Holt is a former All-Star. They need him. They need him in order to repeat, along with Christian Vasquez because he signed a huge deal. I believe at the start of last year, they extended him huge. Like it was ridiculous numbers for somebody who had been a backup. He was literally their backup catcher when they extended him, but. He's got potential for more of that like on base guy, like more of a Yadier Molina, not a power guy. Like I don't know. I said Yadier Molina, which I should have said. Salvador Perez, and not a power guy like Yadier Molina. Yadier Molina is not a power guy either. There's Gary Sanchez. Okay, not Gary Sanchez. More Yadier Molina / Salvador Perez. But they did add to the back end of their bullpen. Will lose it or to their mid innings bullpen. Tyler Thornburg should be good for him. Matt Burns. He's got some stuff. And then Brandon Workman. Brandon Workman was literally what his last name is. Their horse. He's good. Will he step into that closing role? I think you need him as more of that setup guy. But yeah, so expectations, I think they're going to finish second in the division. I just think I'm anti-Yankees, but I think it's kind of time for the Yankees. They made some nice moves, some real nice moves, unnecessary moves this offseason. And the Red Sox, they're World Series champs. They can only... And they took a step back this offseason. by losing a couple of keys. And they're and for the most part, their infield is starting to get up there. They really don't have a first baseman. That's why Brock Holton's big for them. And my bold prediction, I think they're going to finish second in the division. And my bold prediction is that they will not make the playoffs. Thanks, Mark Jones. I'm Not Saying Sports.
Hey guys, welcome to the. Oh, great! I wish I knew which division this was. I'm gonna bet AL East because I'm stupid while I look this up. AL East. I was right. Okay, cool. Welcome to the AL East divisional breakdown. Unfortunately, I'm too stupid to remember what that is, and I usually host this stupid show. It's not stupid. Kidding. So I'm covering the Tampa Bay Rays. We have other people covering the Toronto Blue Jays, the Baltimore Orioles, New York Yankees, and the Boston Red Sox. Now, last year, Tampa Bay was a 91 team in third in the division. Of course, you're going to get outshined in a division that has both the historic Yankees and the Red Sox. Don't know how you're really going to beat them when they love throwing money at people, and people kind of forget about the Rays. But they're a surprising team, especially with Cy Young winning pitcher. I think it was Cy Young winning. Well, at least, Cy Young or Cy Young candidate, Blake Snell. Now, with that being said, there we go. Yeah, it was Blake Snell. Okay, cool. Had to do my math or facts. Anywho, aside from that, they also were able to get some pretty good things for getting rid of what's his name? Chris Archer. They traded Chris Archer. They sold him at the deadline to the Pirates and got Austin Meadows, I believe, and Tyler Glasnow, who had an okay time when he had a couple starts last year, but I think given a little more time, a little more, patience in actually playing in the MLB, I think he'll actually be pretty decent. Maybe not a one pitcher for now, but a solid 2, solid 3. Kind of like Charlie Morton, who they added this offseason. And also, weirdly enough, they added Avisel Garcia, but they don't, either he's on the injured list, disabled list, whatever you want to call it, or they just are going to have him sit on the bench a lot. Which, I guess they were going to give him more money than the White Sox were. But, anywho, that's besides the point. Again, unless a major, 30 major crushing blows have to happen to both the Yankees and the Red Sox before I think the Rays will be able to even compete for the division title. I would love to see them win it because screw both those other teams. I don't need either of them. I'll take the Rays. Unfortunately, I think the division is going to end up looking the same way it did last year. Maybe Toronto's worse, but I think Baltimore's going to take the cake for worst team in the MLB. If not, well, I don't know who is. With that being said, I think a lot of the players are going to have a good year there. You've got Jose Alvarado, their closer, has actually been pitching pretty good, of course, for a week into the season. So anything we say now is very subjective. Oh, Tommy Pham. I think they just re-signed him recently, if I'm correct. But, he might actually end up being pretty good. I think they traded for him halfway in the season, and they kind of became buyers. They bought and sold weirdly, but, nobody's thought they were going to really be buyers in my eyes. Or in their eyes, not mine. I thought they'd sell, but I think they're going to be buyers more at deadline this year, because a lot of times they were a 90-win team. Like, they can do good. If you can win 90 games, of course, again, that's essentially, which in every other division in the MLB, that's actually really good. Unfortunately, you have, 2 of the best teams in the MLB in the same division, and you're also, contending. So it's it sucks. In my eyes, they're almost like a shoo-in for AL wildcard. Just because, I feel like they're a shoo-in. If not, they have a very high chance. But they'll be a wild card. I have to. I don't think anybody else in the AL is really going to compete. AL Central is garbage, basically. You have the Indians and the Twins. That's it. Any Sox fans, Orioles fans, you want to come at me, go for it. Not a fan. Well, it's not that I'm not a fan. I don't think they're going to be that good anytime soon. And then what's the other division I'm missing? Oh, the AL West. Is that the one with the... No, that's not that one. I have to look up the other AL divisions. American League. I like how I'm doing a baseball podcast, or at least talking about baseball this time, and I don't know anything. Can I just see? Thank you. Oh, that is the AL West? Really? Oh, yeah, no, it is. Okay. Yeah, okay, never mind. That makes more sense. Okay, so yeah, the AL West, which is... Oh, yeah, we just did that video. Idiot. No, so, my bad. Apologize for that. But then, yeah, again, you have the AL West, which is Houston, Texas, the Oakland Billy Bean Athletics, the Seattle Mariners, and I think it's actually everybody. Yeah, and Los Angeles Angels. Or the Los Angeles Mike Trouts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to... I think they need to change their name to Mike Trout. Mike Trout for life. Essentially, the only team that's semi-relevant... Like, Houston's relevant. They're going to continue to be relevant for a while. Other than that, no one's really... Oakland could be relevant. Depends how their season goes. If they get better pitching, see how some people play, like Chris Davis, Matt Chapman, Matt Olson. I think he's still on the team. Blake Trinian, he's going to be probably top 5, top 3 closer. My eyes. Other than that, they don't got much. Seattle may be in first place. Again, it's only the first week. Baseball just started. You can tell me the Mariners are going to be in first place through May, and I'll be fine. They still won't make the playoffs. They'll choke immediately after the All-Star break. And as soon as we head into August, September, they'll just choke. And next thing you know, bam, they're not even close to wild card. Because they're not going to win that division. Houston's going to win that. But anyway, back to the Rays. I got off topic. So at the end of the day, that division, again, my eyes is going to be... I don't know who to take. It depends. Oof. They lost the Red Sox lost Kimbrel, so that's pretty big. I think the Yankees are still going to take it. Maybe it'd be harder, especially if they lose Miguel Andujar for the whole season. Which I hope he doesn't. Please, I need him on fantasy. But Boston, the Yankees, Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, and then the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore Orioles shouldn't even can they just sit out the whole season? Everyone who plays them, they can just get a win. So it feels irrelevant in a way. But maybe they'll do good without Machado. No, they won't. Who am I kidding? Alright, thank you everybody for watching. That's my segment. I don't know where I'm putting myself, but if I'm at the end, subscribe, do everything. If I'm not, ignore this and wait for the end to do any of that. See you guys.
What's going on, guys? Anthony here from I'm Not Saying, and I'm going to be giving my predictions about the AL East team, Baltimore Orioles. And boy, what are they going to do this season? Garbage. 0-162 is my official prediction. This team is not going to win a damn freaking game. They literally gotten rid of any relevant players and brought up minor leagues. Perfect. Have the minor leagues go against New York's bats. See what happens. That's going to be a blowout game. Calling it now. What else we got? The one relative player that I did recognize on the roster was Chris Davis, their first baseman. You're going to make him maybe captain? You're going to try and do something else with him? Honestly, it's just a ploy to maybe get fans to come to the games, which they won't. I think it's bad, but either way, this season is just going to be exciting. This season, I'm going to back it up there. This season's going to be very interesting, though, on the aspect of who's going to be the losingest team of all, because it's pretty much a two-way battle between Miami and Baltimore. Baltimore, I think, is going to be the most losingest team this year. Then second would be Miami, and we'll see who's going to finish third. Anybody's guess, but that'll be fun to watch. So if you are better, I would put money on Baltimore finishing last place in the major leagues. They're not going to the playoffs, trust me. That's about it. Their team just got rid of any relevant players, and they suck generally. Honestly, hopefully the White Sox should sweep them this year, and that's saying something. Everybody should sweep them. freaking Orioles. They can't even do anything. But 0-162 is my official prediction. I'm Anthony from I'm Not Saying. Follow us on Twitter at Tony Meduzia. I tweet random stuff, and I rant about NBC Sports. Fun fact, I am still banned from following their Twitter account. Don't know why. Yes, I do know why, but I'm not going to tell. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you want more content and frequent content. We're all in college, so we're trying, but we're not. Either way, just enjoy your evening. Shout out to Coors Light. Maybe sponsor the video? Get us some money. We don't have any money because we're college students and we're broke. Like and subscribe again. Follow us on Twitter. And you guys have a good night. Stay foxy, as I like to say.